Yeah.
Because if there are people listening right now that love board games or gaming in general, how would you recommend them go about inventing a new game if they really wanted to get into this space?
Well, there's two parts. There's inventing, and then there's the manufacturing and marketing.
Okay.
To invent, um, I would I would suggest you start with a theme that you really like, something you have passion about, and it can be anything. It can be eating pizza. It can be Broadway shows. It can be hockey. It can be birds, and anything you know a lot about and you like. And I would start with that because if you're doing an interesting theme, you're going to do things with it that other people wouldn't do.
Hmm.
And so start with a theme or topic you like and develop your game around that. And then the first thing I would do is build a prototype of it and start playing it with people, um, and see how people react to it. The, 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 the game will evolve from what you start with to what you finish with very quickly over 5 to 10 gameplay sessions,
Hmm.
because you'll start seeing all the things you didn't anticipate when you're playing with four people versus doing it in your head by yourself. Once you have that prototype made and you have your rules written, then there's a lot of choices, and a lot of them have to do with your risk profile. So, one thing you can do is you can go to Amazon, I mean, excuse me, you can go to Kickstarter and you can raise money on Kickstarter to fund the manufacturing of the game. Um, and for certain types of games, I think that that's a totally reasonable thing to do. Um, Second thing you can do is you can uh, go ahead and manufacture a small quantity of the games. Now you've got them in your garage and you got to sell them. That
Right.
creates for many people the stress and the pressure of doing it. And probably the first place you want to get it going is on Amazon,
Okay.
because that gives you distribution to everybody around the country. Uh, However, if you do that, you're risking your own money. And to take your game to market is going to cost you, if you do a really small quantity, like 500, it's going to cost you probably $10 a game. If you do a bigger quantity, like 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000, your cost per unit will go down, but your overall expense will go up. And you very quickly can get in that $10,000 to $20,000 range where you've spent the money and all you have for it is a garage full of games. So if you want to do that, that's okay to do. That's what I did. That's how I started my company. Um, but another choice is to take your game and to show it to companies like ours and see if we're interested in investing our money in manufacturing it and then compensating you with some type of a royalty. And those royalties are usually in the 4 or 5% range of wholesale sales.
Wow.
Now that's hard because there aren't that many companies to go to, and the companies don't do that many new games. But at least that's a path that doesn't take out of pocket money.
Right.
And if you want to do that path, there you can on the internet you can find agents, like book agents, but they're game agents who will take your game and will present them to the companies. You
Okay.
also can contact the companies yourself. And a good place to go to learn about this is the Toy Association, which is in New York City, and they have a literature and information on how to contact agents if somebody wants to do that.
That's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I imagine a 4 or 5% royalty is pretty low. I thought it was going to be a little bit higher than that. So if someone has like this large game that they want to get funded, they have to find a way to manufacture it, and then what? They just put it up on Amazon and have some ads and hope people like the description.
Well, you won't sell any games if that's what you do. You'll sell a little bit, but
Right.
generally, what you have to do is you have to invest more money advertising on Amazon so that the algorithm on Amazon will pick up your item and give it relevancy. You probably have to do some public relations. I mean, it is some work, but there are people that do it and they
Totally.
sell a lot of games. And
There you go. Sorry, you cut out a little bit. You're saying that you can pay the for ads on Amazon.
you can pay for ads on Amazon, which helps the algorithm to um, kind of get to know your game, and then it gives it more relevancy and then it'll be higher in search when people are searching for your type of game. Um,
Okay.
but it's, you know, but if you don't know what you're doing and you're not willing to sort of spend 2 or 3 hours a day on Amazon doing things that need to be done,
Yeah.
you're going to have trouble scaling it unless you get just incredibly fortunate. Um,
Gotcha.
my feeling is most people who invent games don't think about what their objective is in the beginning, and so they end up sort of having invented this game and not necessarily making good choices. I think that there's sort of three choices. Is it more important to make as much money as possible, or to just have your game out there, or to have your game out there and not lose any money? I mean, I think those are kind
Hmm.
of the three choices. And if people want to make as much money as possible, they probably are going to have to risk $20,000 to $30,000 of their own money to make that happen. If the goal is just to get it out there, then um, probably going to companies like ours is a good way to go, and see if you can find someone. And if nobody wants to take it to market, it probably isn't commercially viable because
Hmm.
we're looking for companies, for games that would be commercially viable. And then the third choice, which is not to lose any money, would be the Kickstarter route, where you don't make the game unless you get funded. And people do all three. I, you know, I,
Right. And
I
I guess.
really, I would have to. I'll tell you though. But if anybody wants to talk to me about this, who has a game they've invented, you can email me at Moog Moog at ugames.com. I'm happy to help anybody that's listening that wants to get their game in the market.